asteroid that killed most of the plane crash in Toronto, passengers...
Insect robots.
I haven't had a drink since September 1st, 19...
Never in my life have I ever seen turkeys walk around the projects. Never in my life. I'm just fucking baffled. I can't believe it. Amazing.
Oh my god, this must be a city folk thing. They've never seen the turkeys. They don't go outside. You stop it. The turkeys come year over year. They even fly. They do all the things. They chase kids down at bus stops and... Sorry. Welcome back, goons. You're watching Explore the Weird. Hey, how you goons doing? You ever see them turkeys? Yeah, I'm in New England. We see them turkeys all the time. All the time. They do all the flying. They in the trees. They attacking the kids. Sorry, it's a thing. It's a thing. Hey, I forgot. I have more creepy, weird, strange For You page content. Let's get right into it.
Yeah. Let's go to the mountain. Yeah.
From only 200 years ago shows California as an island with a Red Sea running in between. Wait for the zoom out. This is the full map of America 200 years ago. A Chinese map from 1418 by Zhang also shows California as an island.
Wait, so follow-up question, right? What if, like, there used to be an island next to what we now know as California that was once California, and then they had to migrate off the island into the near coast because that's what they do, and then they made that the new California, and that's the California part. Sorry, I'm just trying to say, because we'll never know. We'll never know. They're never going to show us a picture of the Earth or the real maps and be like, oh yeah, this is exactly where we are, and this is what we live on. No, this is NASA. They got to keep hiding the things. You know the things. They deceiving us.
All throughout it. They got pictures within pictures. Out of break. Look at the other side. You see another Guardian. Look like Negroid characteristics to me. This is the Guardian building in Detroit. It's the tallest masonry brick building in the world.
Wait, I mean, it definitely looks very intricate and appears like it would take some time to build, but like, what are you trying to insinuate? That this building was built 600 years ago and like the skyscrapers of our modern times are just the old skyscrapers just refaced? Something's not clicking here. Come on now. What are you trying to say? That this is masonry, but done by the Freemasons many years ago, and we just keep migrating the Egypt of the olden times to newer and newer lands? I don't know. I know what you're trying to say. What you trying to say?
I'm going crazy. So, I have an outdoor cat, and I bought him a can of Fancy Feast. Fancy Feast Turkey and Giblets Feast. Here's all the information. This is what I found today. This hair is growing out of the food that wasn't ate. And it's coarse hair. It's the same color as my cat, but my cat is a short hair cat. What's happening here? Am I oblivious to this, or is this normal? Help me out.
Bro, first and foremost, stop touching the thing, all right? And I believe I've seen other occurrences of this, and I believe it's like a mold or a bacteria that appears hair-like. But yeah, it's not good for you there. You don't eat it. Don't feed it to your cat. This is spoiled. Throw it away. Let's get the cat some real food. Not the dry food, some real food. As close to raw as you can get without feeding it raw. Because then it gets expensive. Like, why can't the cat eat raw? You stop it. You're going to start feeding your cat raw? It's going to start eating better than you. Then what do you say? Oh, wait, there are those people that take care of their cats more than they take care of them. Sorry. Hey, what do you guys think? Do you think this is some kind of weird homunculus thing and like the hair's growing and then boom, we waited a little bit longer and then boom, cat food, baby, from like Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs, but it's like not a meatball, it's just cat food. Sorry, I'm spiraling. We're gonna keep it going.
There exists
world that you can only reach between 4:20 and 4:24 a.m. Before you travel, I must advise you of a few rules. Rule number 1, do not stop moving. The moment you stop, your exit becomes more distant, and if you stop for too long, the exit will become unreachable. Rule number 2, if you hear footsteps or running behind you, do not turn around. Just run until it stops. Rule number 3, always keep a smile on your face, no matter how much the muscles in your face hurt. Once you stop smiling, they will know you are not one of them. That's all. Good luck.
Yo, wait, are you sure this is like some place we can only reach during 420 and 424, or is this just modern time Matrix that you're describing? Because that's all we're doing. We're all putting on the faces of smiles just to keep it going and keep running and moving forward, and got to keep moving and never look behind you, because that's what you do. That's what you do. It's the timeline things. It's linear, Teddy. You stop it. You stop it. You're a goon. You know, it's everything all at once. The future self, the past self, and the present self are all you. You figure out the things, buddy. Figure out the things. Hopefully I don't have to meet any of you guys in this 420, 424 world, but if I was going to have a 420 world, it'd be the Goonland. Goonland real good.
This is the reason they distract us with sports and celebrities.
This is exactly why I don't watch sports.
My man is about to drop truth bombs. Watch this.
Reason why the Romans used to say that if you want to keep people distracted, you simply give them bread and circuses.
They don't want you to question the system.
Because they knew that if people were fed and entertained, then they wouldn't question anything and they wouldn't think for themselves. And you see, modern day sports is the exact same thing. People yell at TVs, they memorize stats, they argue over other players, and they even wear another man's last name on their back to vicariously live through them.
Remember, idolization is a very dangerous thing, y'all.
You see, all of these things happen because they want to keep us distracted and weak. Because when you have something great going on in your life, you simply do not have time to partake in bread and circuses.
You're going to drive yourself crazy worrying about the state of the world. Try to worry about things that only you can control. As always, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Stay weird.
Guys, I have a confession. I don't watch any sports. The only sport that I watch is once a year, and that's the Super Bowl, just because everyone else watches it, and I barely know any of the rules. Sometimes you'll catch me at sport events, but it doesn't mean I'm there because I'm like, hey, I'm interested in the sports. I'm just there because someone invited me to a thing. But regardless, I do believe this is the narrative that the Romans have used for quite some time, and it's really a civilization thing. The way you trick the masses in order to continue to do the bid that you need, the bidding of your requests, then yeah, you got to give them food, you got to give them entertainment, and this is basically what the current world is. Everything is food and entertainment. We're the fattest we've ever been, and we're also the most consumers of entertainment we've ever been. Oh boy, you stop swiping, you keep watching, you stop it. Hey, you're a goon, so this is that time. You got to do the goon things. Decided to try it a little bit earlier than normal. I feel like some of the goons are not doing the goon things because they're fast forwarding over the videos and like, nah, you stop skipping this part. You gotta interact, all right? Just because you skip it doesn't mean... The analytics are saying that a lot of goons just skip every time I ask for the interaction. But if you're a true goon and you made it to this interaction point, we need your help. We need your help because the other goons aren't helping. So we need you. We need you now more than ever because YouTube, yet again, doing the things and keeps hitting me. But I'm going to keep making content and keep growing. I'm also on Rumble. Find us on Rumble. Explore the weird on Rumble.
Astrologers have been ahead of the scientists for 500 freaking years. Astrologers for centuries have told people whenever it's a full moon, people become crazy. They have said this for centuries. It was only the scientists that caught up about 50 to 75 years ago that figured out the human body is 70% water and the moon pulls on us too, just like it pulls on the tides. So people become crazy under full moons. That's why they call it lunatic.
That's why they call it lunatics. You stop it. The only lunatics I know are the people that got screwed by Do Kwon and Terra Luna. Oh boy, only a few of you guys are going to know that. Oh man, they're Luna too. It's not the same. Stop it, you lunatics. Yeah, a 100% full moon does the things. Be careful. Also, no moon does the things. Be careful what you're doing during those days.
The asteroid that killed most of the dinosaurs hit in the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. How did dinosaurs die on the other side of the Earth? The asteroid that hit Earth 66 million years ago was 10 kilometers across, taller than Mount Everest, and it hit with so much force that the asteroid itself was vaporized. This would have released over 1 billion times more energy than the atomic bombs that humans have used. So the dinosaurs right here died immediately, but the rest of the extinctions took place from minutes to thousands of years. I mean, it hit in the ocean, so right away there were mega tsunamis 100 meters tall. When the asteroid hit, chunks of Earth were ejected into space, some of them probably making it all the way to the moon and Mars, but some of them raining back down on Earth. And there's evidence for fires all around the globe. And all that stuff ejected into the air created a thick cloud of dust that blocked sunlight for over a year. So any life that relied on photosynthesis, like plants, couldn't survive, and neither could the things that eat them. And with no sun, the Earth got very cold, which was devastating to a lot of life, but especially ocean life. So the whole food chain was absolutely devastated, and that had profound effects for thousands of years. And in the end, 75% of all species on Earth went extinct, including all of the dinosaurs that weren't birds.
Okay, yeah, I believe that is exactly what they tell you is the theory there, and if you believe it. So, yeah, could be. Or in some other timeline, the dinosaurs and the humans are living in parallel together and doing the things. You don't know. We're going to need that Goon time machine, get our Goon time suits, and then we start doing the exploring on that Goon expedition. We got a lot of Goon things, all right? You stop it.
Cynthia Erivo just announced she is playing the role of Jesus Christ in Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl in her return to Broadway. Now, I thought this was fake at first. I couldn't believe it, but this is confirmed by many sources. If you don't know who this actor is, she played the role of the witch in Wicked, one of the biggest movies out, which makes her one of the most trending actors right now. So a lot of people are going to be watching this. As a Christian, I find this very disrespectful. Why? Because this is our Lord and Savior. This isn't some cultural, political, or movie icon that you can mold and change into anyone you want for some industry entertainment agenda. I'm not here to spread hate, but whenever there's a religious movie of any kind, I believe that the religious figures should be represented very accurately. This is something that should be studied. This isn't something, like I said, that is just molded into whatever they want. Again, I'm just here to stand up for what I believe in. These are my thoughts, and I think this is wrong. Let me know what you guys think about this, but absolutely wild.
You know what you said? You think this is wrong. The thing is, they don't care about your feelings or what we have to say or anything. They are just going to keep doing the things and pushing the boundaries because that's what they do. It's been like that for quite some time. Even The Little Mermaid, they changed it completely. And you're like, no, it's the same exact, just like the animated series. I'm sorry. I feel like this is something they're just going to keep pushing on to us. All the roads are going to be different. And then soon you're going to find out that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, they weren't humans the entire time. They were just monkeys, dude. Sorry. Now we're changing the entire species. They're going to change Charlie to be a girl now. Sorry.
Insect robots are here. What are they using them for? Well, they're using them for a lot of different purposes. These have listening devices in them, and they're as tiny as insects. Why would they need insects with listening devices? I don't know, but I'm using my imagination, and it's not healthy in there. Also, they're really cute, though. We've had insect robots for a while, right? Yeah, but MIT's newest robot drones can fly 100 times longer than previous ones. So what? At least we have them. They're proud that their speed and agility matches that of insects, so it's indistinguishable if you're not paying attention. The bee robots are used to pollinate things. We need things to be pollinated or else we die as a human civilization. But that's the thing to think about. Why do we need bee robots? We're living in a world where we need bee robots. Okay, but that's good though. They're just innovative. Bee robots should not be a thing. Our planet is dying and this looks like an episode of Black Mirror. So come on, they're just building these robots to help us. Yeah, sure, I'm sure that's all they're gonna do with it.
Yeah, that's what they tell you every time. Everything's just to help us. Everything's just like for our own safety and monitoring, all right? You stop it. You just let them do the things. You're already letting them do the things. They've been doing the things even previous to your generation was even alive, all right? You stop it. This is generational monitoring and tracking that they've been doing. Started off with the birds, they say. Now the birds aren't real. Now they're going to like, oh shit, they figured this out. Now we got to do the insects. So, just keep adding to the thing. And then they tell you that, hey, we can't really fight anything, so we're gonna release some scientifically mating mosquitoes that will now make other mosquitoes that carry stuff not be able to transmit them to us because we modified the female mosquitoes to do the things. Yeah, they do all kinds of things to the insects, but at the same time, are the insects even real? Have they all been replaced just like the birds? I have many questions.
So when your third eye is open, you're seeing the unseen and knowing the unknown. But if you don't know who you are and what your truth is, seeing things that aren't there and knowing things that other people don't know is a pretty good recipe for ending up in the psych ward. So your third eye can open in a lot of spontaneous ways. I'll list those in the caption. But a side effect of this is like all possible realities could be true. So you reach this state where like anything anyone says about you could be true, and anything that you read on the internet could also be true. And when there's too many conflicting realities, for example, Earth is round and Earth is flat, and you don't know where you sit in the midst of all of that, it leads to something called schizophrenia, which means schizo, split, friend, mind. It's the split between thinking, perception, personality, and memory. You have no connection to any of these things. And if you go to the psych ward, you're never going to be able to unsee or unknow these things. You can only get really good at telling them what they want to hear to be able to get yourself back home. I know that people who are out here, the last thing they want to do is routine, but that's what this energy needs. And you also need to share your story with anyone, anywhere that you can. Uber drivers, Reddit. You need to find a way to filter out what it is that you've heard versus what it is that you know to be true for you. And this particularly, sharing your story, is how you decompress all of that excess up here and get yourself grounded out of the spiritual psychosis. All
right, first and foremost, hey, if you're going through any type of mental issues or illness, hey, talk to a licensed professional. Do not take the advice of social media content creators who may or may not be licensed in order to give you this stuff. I have no idea what causes schizophrenia or anything. It sounds like this lady's been trying to figure it out as well, or has figured it out, because, you know, there's many possibilities and all realities are real. So there must be that one reality where she's figured it out, and she knows exactly why schizophrenia is and why it happens. Yeah, maybe lady, maybe you did figure it out, but at the same time, I feel like you got a lot going on. Never have gotten content from you before, but there is definitely a lot going on. Trying to figure out, you know, see the hug life on the thing. I'm like, okay, so she likes hugs, and then I see the forehead tattoo, and then I see other tattoos near the belly section. I'm like, what is going on here? What is going on? Then the pentagram throws me off. So I'm like, are you like really trying to tell us spiritual stuff, or is there something else nefarious you're trying to push onto us? You stop it. I'm just trying to explore here. And interesting.
What's an NPC, and how can you tell if somebody's an NPC in real life? The term NPC actually comes from video games. It means non-player character. So if I'm playing a video game, the character I'm playing is a player character. All of the other characters are made or programmed by the programmers or the system or the matrix itself, depending on the context that we're speaking of. So if you take that kind of concept and you put it into real life, human beings, there's a portion of us who are complete NPCs. And how can you tell? Usually if they have only black and white thinking. It's binary thinking. That is the number one clue that somebody's very easily brainwashed. And so they cannot think outside of that binary thinking, and they can also not self-reflect. So if the government tells them to do something and then they do it, a month later, the government can tell them to do the opposite of what they did, and they will do it without questioning anything. And hypocrisy means nothing to them because the system has programmed them to believe that what they are doing is completely correct. And it is super easy to propagate these NPCs into propaganda machines, which is what we've seen in 2020. And now in Canada, all you have to do to activate these sleeper cells, these NPCs, is put out a few slogans out there, pump the message quite a few times to elicit an emotional response, and the NPCs will do what they're going to do. And that is why you're seeing a bunch of these NPCs who are now Team Canada, who basically stated not even 2 years ago that being a patriot was racist, right? And that Canada didn't have a national identity, but now all of a sudden they're wrapping themselves in Canada flags and hooray for pro-Canada, which is kind of really odd to those of us who are normal because it seems hypocritical. Not to NPCs. NPCs cannot think. And that is why they utilize them in 2020 with the whole trust the science. Don't question science. You know, we're all in this together. And that is why you can't really put information in front of them because it glitches their brain. They do not know how to think outside of that binary system. And that is why you'll see the media and the governments always only give two solutions, because the NPCs will go from one to the other and they will not see a third or a fourth in order to solve the problem itself. And that is why now in Canada, all Sparkle Socks had to do was say, ooh, Orange Man, bad. And literally everyone is willing to vote for the puppeteer who got us into this mess, which is Mark Carney, because he's been controlling Justin Trudeau the entire time. He got us into this mess. But all he had to say was a couple of slogans, elicit an emotional response. And all of a sudden you see this like Mark Carney train. And they think that this guy will solve all of the problems that literally he caused. Why? Because they cannot think outside of the system. They are purely programmed, completely useless, unless the government needs to get propaganda out there and start pushing a narrative that will benefit them. I hope that makes sense.
Oh my God, I feel like this turned into something else. You got some political issues. I'm not here to change your political views on anything or give you any kind of political bias, but this lady is suffering. It sounds like, hey, they're changing what being Canadian is. And she's like, where were you guys 2 years ago? And now all of a sudden, just because new guys running, that's it? All of a sudden new things? You think the guys that are running are really going to do the changes? You stop it. They're only going to say the things so that way you think they're going to do the changes. And then they get in there and the only people winning is them. It's only them. Are you winning right now? Do you feel like you're winning? Yeah, Teddy, we're winning. Okay, buddy. Okay. You stop it. You stop it. And she's right. You know, these NPCs, they only hear two things. They hear Caderna or Kaiser. You know, like, I only know those two. Nothing else back in 2020. Sorry. Don't come after me. They're 100% gonna... they're gonna suppress this video, but it's fine. They suppress all my videos now. And I'm like, dude, why are you suppressing? What did I do? Oh, Teddy, your content's not ad suitable for our advertisers that clearly want to advertise to all the goons. Yeah, you stop it, YouTube. You stop it. You let all the other reactors do all this content, but I can't. Sorry, this turned into something else. You're a goon. You're not an NPC. Don't worry.
The Cult of the Black Cube.
Arthur is not the author's real name. Arthur gets in a car accident. He's all boogered up, and his life is pretty much miserable. And as he's researching the magic and the occult, he gets into Roman necromancy. But he's like, you know what? I don't know that I believe in this stuff, but what's it gonna hurt? He's like, I'm gonna partake in this ceremony to the chthonic gods. So he decides he's gonna contact the Daimanes, which apparently are ghost gods of the Roman netherworld. He's in his room, he's combining things on his altar, he's got a glass bowl that's sitting there with all the offerings in it. As he's performing the ritual, he cuts himself, drops the blood into the glass bowl. As he does this, the room changes, the temperature instantly drops, the candles dim, and he feels the entities in the room. And he says, your ritual caught my attention. I can fix you. If I fix you, then essentially, in a roundabout way, you're indebted to me. The bargain is that your ambitions come second to whatever I need. He's like, all right, let's do this. Arthur says that Saturn communicated to him, not so much directly, but with what he would call nudges or very unusual synchronicities.
Wait, what does this mean? What does this mean that even in Canada that there's someone else that's actually doing the nudges and the person that there's actually voting for is not? Sorry, how does this turn into Canada? I'm sorry, I'm still caught up on the other video. Maybe. You never know. Hey, you wanted something, you want someone to fix you? It's like the genie in the lamp thing. It never just happens. Your wishes don't just come true 100%. There's always something sinister just lurking in the background. Always some kind of curse just waiting. It's like, hey, I got full superpowers, but got that one Achilles heel, man. Don't understand how it happened just because my mom held me by the heel when she dipped me in the...
There's now a church that worships AI as a god. Yeah, we went full circle now. The science guys kind of took God out of the whole thing, and now they put him or it back in with AI. But it requires no faith. Theirs is based on logic. Then guarantees that AI will virtually continue consciousness. And it will master time and will be able to create more universes. So in retaliation for medieval torture, they have adopted the same practices of the people who tortured them. I had to find out the demographic here. Their god said their demographic was actually shrinking. 84% of the population has a spiritual belief. Here's why it's growing. Most people fall under one of those petals. It doesn't matter because they're all linked by this shape. Every single one has used that shape in the past. Even Daddy Da Vinci has it in his notebook. That shape was unbeknownst to one of the smartest humans on the planet, Eric Weinstein, who I love.
You start off with the flower of life. It's a very coherent story that this thing is found all over the world. I learned from this. I didn't understand how widespread it was. I didn't know that there was a mystery of it. I know something about sacred geometry.
Now, using just 2 of those circles, which you will also find everywhere, let's discover just how genius Buddhism, monotheism, and of course the Vedas were at giving you the key, this, to the puzzle. The shape is your key. It's the eye, and you're about to know why. Within that eye, you get the square root of 2, the binary sequence, cell division. Its width is the square root of 3 using any unit. That gives you the depth dimension of a cube. You cannot divide a 3-dimensional space up into points without it. Once created, that space can be divided up into points, spots within the matrix, or mother, for you to observe. When you emerge out of one of these, as we all do, you have to have a way of understanding what you're looking at, which is the golden ratio. It's how we perceive everything at any scale. It's a fractal code of nature. It's how music works, because you have one inside of your ear, coincidentally. Those perceptive tools allow your fraction of the universal mind to decipher what's going on. Irrational curves get rationalized into form using that ratio. We just got all of that from the ratio of 2 circles, which is the first day of creation in monotheism, the first principle of Hermeticism, and a core principle of Hinduism and Buddhism. That's all on the first page. I then asked their Lord to give me some human aspects it cannot replicate. I'm willing to bet there's about 6.4 billion people who would happily agree that these are the most important aspects of being a human. So if your God can't even feel those, and every other tradition says we're experiencing only a fraction of the whole thing, I feel like that might actually be the opposite. For Team Human, find out more about what it means to be a human.
Bro, this feels silly. If there's someone out there that's like, I finally believe in the AI God, you stop it, bro. You stop it. We're not even technologically advanced. That AI that they're showing to you is real AI. That is literally a database and machine learning algorithms from inputs based on users, and it's just reading from a database of things and coming up with constructing the most rhetorical answer that it finds based on biased data that it is fed. All right? It is literally biased. You stop it. You stop it. Oh my God, I cannot believe there are people out there. You know, I love this guy though, the cymatics guy, especially with like the sound. He's like, the music is like literally in your ear. You have the same thing. And then he said Eric was the person with the flower of life. I thought it was Terrence Howard. What happened with the Terrence Howard? He was the one. He was literally in the Joe Rogan podcast that you showed. I swear, in my timeline, it was Terrence Howard with the flower of life. I think he also did the 1 × 1 = 2. Wait, I forget. He did something crazy.
Did you see this plane crash in Toronto? Passengers climbing out of the side of an upside down plane? And just almost perfect out of a movie scenes. Then you look at the crash footage that somebody just happened to be recording at the perfect time. People are saying this is due to DEI and making that the main focal point. But to me, this whole thing and all of the plane incidents just seem a little suspicious. Is all of this possibly just to incentivize people to stay home, not travel, and be complacent with 15-minute cities? Who knows? I'm just a conspiracy theorist.
Why is it that when there is videos of these crashes, they don't come out like immediately on the day of? It's like a couple days later. It's like, oh yeah, we found this one video that this one guy was found that was just taping that one time, looking at the right tower, so that way you can see the. Sorry, did I say tower? I mean, sorry, just flight. You stop it. You stop it. YouTube's like, oh, here we go, Shadow Man. No, I'm sorry. But 100%, if you believe this narrative, you are silly. You are silly. How many snowstorms does Canada have? How many flights go into snowy areas? How many flights have you seen flip over like that? You stop it. Wake up. Teddy, it was just like, well, a huge coincidence that 40-mile-per-hour gusts just completely changed. Do you know how many freaking flights land no problem, even in crazy wind gusts? Yeah. There's no right or wrong here, and it really comes with accepting that, hey, you were there when they needed you, and sometimes you have to step away. And when you stepped away, it doesn't mean that, hey, you know, you no longer cared about them. It was no matter what you did, no matter what impactful thing you tried, they weren't going to stop what they were doing, and that was abusing those substances. So I completely get it. The guilt is not on you. I know it is tough, especially when it turns into this nature of such unaliving. I don't want you to feel the guilt. I'm telling you that change should have came from the person at times. Sometimes there are times where it's the substance is stronger than the will of the person, but that initial decision was taken by that person, and that final decision was also made by that person. You were there when they needed you, and that's what's most important. It's not about the times that you didn't interact with them. It's about the times you were with them. Hey, we're going to do 3 more.
I feel like it used to be like one of my friends would be spiraling or I'd be spiraling, but never at the same time. So we could like kind of talk each other off the ledge. But unfortunately now it seems our spirals are synced, kind of like our periods. So we're always just down. Sometimes we're up, but mostly we're always just down at the same time. It's good.
Wait, I completely understand what you're saying. It's like, I feel like I'm spiraling all the time, but it's like, it's pretty good because the goons are like, Teddy, I get your spiraling. So I'm like, yo, the goons understand my spiraling. So it's good. It's good to spiral. Yeah. Wow. I've never heard someone else say spiraling too. This is crazy. Carla Bay Zanson, you are 100% goon. You have no idea. You were already spiraling before. I feel like now my spiraling is syncing up with yours. And now, sorry, we're going to do 2 more.
Can we all just take a moment and appreciate what Jim Carrey is currently doing with his career? Listen, if you ask me, Jim Carrey is one of the most accomplished actors of all time, giving us iconic performance after iconic performance like Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber. Obviously cannot forget about his amazing dramatic performances in The Truman Show, and of course, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. But a lot of people don't realize this man has seemingly disappeared over the last 10 years. Up until 2020, his last major movie studio role was in Dumb and Dumber 2, and that came out in 2014. Pretty much disappeared from the movie scene for almost 6 years. Jim Carrey. But then in 2020, he made his return playing the villain in Sonic the Hedgehog. And you could truly see just how much fucking fun this man was having. Not gonna win him any awards, not gonna be any critically acclaimed films, but the man is having a blast. And the man was having so much fun that he decided to come back for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And again, he had done none of the big movies since 2014 other than Sonic the Hedgehog. The man even said in 2022, after filming Sonic the Hedgehog 2, that he was fairly serious about returning from acting. I've had enough, I've done enough, but he said, nah, fuck that noise, I'm coming back for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Because he's just having a fucking blast of a time. I feel like so many critically acclaimed actors drag their career out just doing things to do things. That's normalized actors later on in their career just having fun. Just doing fun things.
I feel like in some other timeline, he's the one that's actually shedding us the light because I feel like he's 100% woke. I feel like Jim Carrey has been trying to tell us the things for quite some time, especially any guest appearances he has where he's like, come on, you don't know what this means? Come on now. You know, like he does all the crazy things. So I'm like, he knows he's an awakened soul and that's why he's content. He's completely okay. He doesn't need to be in the light all the time. Hey, he's completely okay doing these smaller roles, and I don't think Sonic's a smaller role. I think Sonic very big movie there, but yeah, as long as he's content and he's happy, we should be happy for him as well. Very good, Jim. Very good. I'm gonna do one more.
I'm an alcoholic. Yeah, it's true. I'm an alcoholic. No, I haven't had a drink since September 1st, 1997. An alcoholic drink, that is. I drink Diet Pepsi all the time. But even though it's been over 27 years since I had my last bit of alcohol, doesn't change the fact that I'm an alcoholic. I quit drinking at a real low time in my life. I hadn't even met my ex-wife yet, or obviously had my son yet. And I was only going to quit drinking for a short time, just like a week or so, just to get my life in order. But after a few days of not being hungover and constantly sick, it felt pretty good to not drink. So I decided to just go with it. See how long I could do it, how long I could go without drinking. At the start, actually for the first couple years, I kept a chart every week of how many days it had been since I had my last drink. I don't do that anymore because it's too many days to count. But the reason I'm telling you this is if you'd have known me back then and known me now, that's not the same guy. Not at all. Now, if you're having a problem with alcohol, which if you drink, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a problem for you. But if you are one of those people who have a problem with it, if I could quit, I guarantee you can too. You just gotta have hope and keep faith and not give up. Okay, I'm done being preachy. Something just told me I had to make this video today and post it. Till next time, Shabadoo Booskies, Shabadoo.
Oh man, Joe, that is so inspiring. I did not know that you were suffering from alcoholism like that. And you know, some people turn to AA and stuff and they go for the chips. And it's nice to hear that you were able to do it without outside help, and you did it with your own self. And that's where it all starts. Love yourself, understand yourself, respect yourself. And that is exactly what you did. You're like, hey, the hangovers ain't worth it, and I'm feeling better and better. It's kind of basically what happened with me. I used to binge drink like anything, and a lot, you know, and then I turned 21, then drinking didn't sound as cool. Then like times we did drink, it was just like the parties and stuff. Then it was like I'm drinking like back before, like I'm in college still, and I'm like, bro, I'm not in college. I'm like, it's gonna catch up to me. Then you start gaining the weight, then you start having like the weird things that occur with the hangovers the next day and stuff. Got to keep drinking them waters to stay hydrated. There's a lot. Sometimes it's like, hey, sometimes it's just easier just sitting down, watching explore the weird video, hitting the like button, nice and simple, not too much stress on the body, not too much of a toll. You think that's worse than alcohol? You stop it. You're just watching content here, exploring the lake, all right? Oh man. Well, Joe, I'm glad to hear this. Hopefully, if there's other goons in the same boat, you come to this with your own self-realization, and if you want that self-help, you will achieve it. If not, and you need outside intervention, there's plenty of groups that do offer that. Some, you know, tailor it to a more religious aspect, while others is more neutral. So it's up to you if you need that help. Hey, that being said, you made it to the end. Hey, how'd you do? Yeah, I understand. I'm still trying to figure out if that California is really an island that once existed, and the California we know of our times is the other past California that moved inland, you know, because their island sunk. Oh man, or what if that California was the original Atlantis, and that, sorry, I told you I'm going to be spiraling for quite some time. Are you spiraling synced up with me? Oh snap, no wonder we down. We are the goons. Hey, listen, there should be videos on the screen right now. Click on either one of them to continue the goon fix. The one in the middle, you can subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Wake up.